I also got a message from Dan Bongino that he is trying to reassure all of us, especially me and you who followed him, to be patient because arrests are coming, but things aren't as easy as they may seem, or people may make them out to seem. He is exposing the corruption behind actually getting through and arresting people.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Starkey Forum Says. So it's super early here in South Louisiana, and I just wanted to share with you what is actually going on in the world. So I've covered some of these stories I'm fixing to talk about with you in the past. These are the follow-ups.
An immigration judge today finding the Trump administration can remove the Columbia grad student using a rarely invoked provision of immigration law. Halil, a leading pro-Palestinian activist on campus, held for the last month in a Louisiana detention facility after his arrest in New York.
Remember I told you there was a reason that they moved him to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, because that is a very conservative end of the court system. And like I predicted, he is most definitely going to be taken out of this country, folks. And I've got to say,
the 30-year-old suggesting at today's hearing he hasn't gotten a fair shake, saying this is exactly why the Trump administration sent me to this court, 1,000 miles away from my family. With tensions growing between the administration and the courts. A federal judge today appearing troubled by the Justice Department's refusal to provide any details on the whereabouts of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man wrongly deported to El Salvador last month.
So as usual, mainstream media twists these stories. First off, Garcia is an El Salvadorian, okay? That is where he was born. That is his nationality. He is from El Salvador. So I will never understand how deporting a citizen of a country back to their country can be wrong. So what is the issue here? Well, they want to claim that, this man is innocent. He's from Maryland. He's a citizen of the United States. He's not. He's an illegal alien, okay? Here's the thing. Let me show you guys what the El Salvadorian president said about this situation.
We have millions of people that should not be in this country.
President Bukele has taken in alleged gang members deported from the U.S. and posted videos of their arrivals at a notorious prison. Among them, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a father of 3 with a work permit in Maryland. A Justice Department prosecutor had said he was deported due to an administrative error. Bukele now says he won't send Abrego Garcia back.
How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
All right, so this is for the people in the back. What is Bukele saying? He does not have the power to send a terrorist back to the United States that is a citizen of his country. So Bukele, the president of El Salvador, said, I will not send this man back to America because his citizenship is El Salvadorian. There is not a liberal judge in this country, in America, that's going to be able to save that man. Why? Because he's not a United States citizen. That's where people are messing up. You are trying to give illegal aliens the same rights and due processes of an American citizen. You are trying to blanket the Constitution over people the Constitution was never written for. What's funny is that people will push so hard to get this gentleman back in the United States that they would ruin our relationship with El Salvador. Now, I'm going to let you hear the rest of the clip because I think it's very important that you understand.
The White House now argues he was not mistakenly deported.
He's an illegal alien from El Salvador. Where was he sent? To El Salvador.
The Trump administration says Abrego Garcia is a member of MS-13, a violent gang the White House has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. His family denies it, and he's never been charged criminally in the U.S. or El Salvador.
Again, the key words here is illegal alien from El Salvador in America being returned where? To El Salvador.
President Trump, bring Kilmar home now.
Late last week, the Supreme Court ordered the Trump administration to facilitate his return to the U.S.
That's the order. The order is bring him back.
So here is where words matter, folks. So what does the word facilitate actually mean? It means to assist. It means to try, right? To give a hand. Let's try to facilitate bringing him back. Well, when the president of a country says they will not return their citizen to your country, what exactly are we supposed to do?
But the White House doesn't see it that way. It's interpreting facilitate to mean there's no need for the U.S. to initiate his return, only help if El Salvador decides to do so.
This is international matters, foreign affairs. If they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane.
President Trump also says the Attorney General is looking into whether the law allows deporting U.S. citizens to El Salvador if they were violent.
I don't know what the laws are. We always have to obey the laws, but we also have homegrown criminals. I'm all for it because we can do things with the president for less money and have great security.
So guys, if you haven't already heard, YouTube demonetized us and my father-in-law passed away yesterday. So if you were ever going to support our channel, today would be an amazing day. If you look at the top of comments, there are 4 ways you could even send $1. It would make a great difference in my and my husband's lives. Now, I told you guys the other day that they were looking at making parts of El Salvador U.S. territories so that we could send our criminals, United States citizens, as well as illegal aliens to El Salvador, and they would what? Not be out of technical U.S. territory, because that is what these liberal left-leaning judges are trying to say. You can't remove them from America. Well, if you turn parts of El Salvador into U.S. territory, say like the prisons, then technically you could. And that was where Blackwater, which is, I should have explained this to you guys in that video. Blackwater is a U.S. defense company, all right? But they are umbrellaed under BlackRock. That is who funds them, all right? So I should have made that a little more clear because I used the words interchangeably and I shouldn't have, and I apologize. I too am human, and I go through a ton of material a day, and sometimes everything just starts to blend together. Now, I want to tell you guys that it's important to understand the sovereignty. This is part of that 4th branch of government that I was trying to explain to people the other day. There is a shadow government. It is your unelected bureaucrats. We all know that. Because a couple of people were like, well, I thought the news was the shadow government. Or, you know, I thought the CIA was the shadow government. Well, that is what we're talking about when we say the 4th branch, the technocrats, the unelected bureaucrats that are passing laws and then trying to interpret our Constitution in a way that they can destroy our national sovereignty. This is a fight for the life of our great republic. Because though America is a constitutional republic, they do have some aspects of democracy in there. But folks, I will continue to say this into my dying breath. A democracy is nothing more than mob rule. It swings with the majority, therefore always ignoring and abusing the minorities. It is why America is such an amazing country, because our Constitution always sides with the vote, right? With the majority, but it always has protections in place for the minorities. Hence the reason it is a constitutional republic. I love you guys. Have a blessed day. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.